Who do you like? Who do you like, Jim?
Let's see.
I like Max.
You like Max?
Yep.
Let's do Max.
Let's do Max. Max, we're going to do you. You are on Atheist Experience with Jim and Johnny.
Well, good afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Doing great. So,
Good.
says you're kind of lost trying to determine if you're a theist or if you should start calling yourself an atheist. Well,
That's right.
tell us more about yourself. Where's your position on the existence of God or gods, spirits, ghosts, goblins, and ghoulies?
Okay, so I was raised in a Christian household, mostly Southern Baptist. There's a little bit of Catholic in there. But the older I've gotten, and I'm 30 now, I've really started to question this book that we call the Word of God. And during the pandemic, I came across you guys, and I came across R and Ra and some of the other people that are associated with y'all, and I've really started to seriously question everything that I was raised to believe. And I got to be honest with y'all, y'all make a lot of sense. I'm just not sure, at what point have I crossed the line, if you will?
I don't.
Well, there's a really complicated questionnaire, so I want you to sit down, put your thinking cap on, and I want you to answer the following question. Do you accept as true the premise that a god or gods exist?
I want to say yes on that, but yeah.
Go ahead. Do you accept
But
it as
not
true?
the one. Yes, I do, but not the one in the Bible.
Okay, then you can't call yourself an atheist yet. That's the only thing that being an atheist requires, is that you do not accept that premise as true. And so you still have to look at stuff, and you still have to. And our shows are great, and there's a lot of really good resources out there. If you really want to get into the Bible and where it comes from and how it was written and all those issues, Myth Vision Podcast does a really, really good job of getting in with scholars. We deal with apologists, and apologists sometimes don't know some of the stuff that the scholars do. And so if you really want to get into, how the Bible was written and all of that, they're a really good resource. If you want the looking for evidence, we're a better resource for that, because that's what we deal with. What is your evidence? So what is keeping you believing in a god or gods?
I think the fact that we don't know all there is to know. I think you guys have done a pretty good job at showing me that the Bible is not necessarily true. But we don't know what's out there, if you will, beyond what we can see through a telescope. So I have a hard time saying that there's no God at all, because, well, maybe there is. We just don't know where it is.
There it is. there it is, though.
Right.
You're saying that there could potentially be a God out there. We can't say there isn't one. Well, I don't say there isn't one. I just don't believe that there is.
Right. And so technically, do you know what the difference between an agnostic and an atheist is? In a philosophical sense?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do. You tell me if I've got it. Atheism is without theism, so you reject the concept that there is a God, whereas an agnostic thinks that there might be something there, but it's not what's in these religious tomes that we have.
Yeah, we don't know. And so technically I'm an agnostic atheist. That is if you want to get as accurate as possible. Now, I do call myself an atheist, and I leave off the agnostic, because most of the time when I have to explain that, they still don't get it. So in order to make my position slightly more clear when I'm talking to a lot of people, I just say I'm an atheist and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because I don't make the positive claim that there is no God. I don't make that claim. I just don't think that there's enough evidence to support the claim that there is one. And there also has to be evidence to support the claim that there isn't one. Because, as you've probably heard on this show many, many times, right, you need to have some evidence for your claim, whether it's a positive claim that X exists or it's a negative claim that X does not exist. Either way, you need evidence.
Max, if I say that there are an even number of gumballs in that jar, do you believe it?
No, I would ask you, have you counted them?
So you think there's an odd number of gumballs in there?
I don't know. I haven't counted them.
You do not accept as
They're
true the proposition that there are an even number of gumballs, but you probably also don't accept the proposition that there are an odd number of gumballs. You are not a even gumballist. You are not an odd gumballist. You are agnostic as to, well, you are not that, and you don't know because you haven't done the work.
Right.
And so that's kind of the position that I'm in. I have done plenty of work. I've done soul searching and reading and I've listened to the show just like you have. And I've talked to people just like you have, I'm sure. And I'm just not convinced that I can say, yes, a God exists. But there are other people, and I think Aaron Ra is one of them, but I might be wrong. But I do believe that Aaron Ra affirmatively says, no God exists.
Yes.
And much to where your position is, I can't see through all of time and space, through all the dimensions, through all that stuff. I can't say with certainty that no entity that might qualify as some form of God, certainly not the biblical God, because the biblical God has certain qualities that I think are manifestly either impossible or he does a really bad job of being the biblical God. So that would suggest that he doesn't exist. So yeah, I'm an atheist, but I could be convinced otherwise if somebody would just give me good evidence.
Yeah, just one person.
Right.
With good evidence was all.
And that was what kind of got me. Like I don't remember which host that on the Atheist Experience said it, but the thing that kind of got me was like, I don't, and I never have had any proof that the Bible is true.
Okay. So why did you believe?
That was kind of like I was raised to, growing up, everyone around me did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my coming to terms, if you will. I guess that was the match that lit the fuse, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's a common theme. I am a recovering Catholic.
Me too.
And I think we've got some recovering Christians in the audience today, live. Recovering Christians, raise your hand. You're not on camera, so it doesn't matter.
There's a bunch of people.
Yeah, a bunch of people didn't raise their hands.
Yeah.
Some might not have been willing to because they're afraid they're on camera, and someone raised both their hands.
I tell you what, Max, you more important than the label. I got into a scuffle with my friend of mine about that. Oh, I'm not an atheist. Fine. Okay, fine. More important than anything else. And also there seems to be a tendency, there's a pressure to come out to your family. Well, what if you don't? What if you just...
I haven't.
There you go. I mean, I have, but, who cares? But it's like, I haven't seen any good evidence. If you've got something, I'd love to see it, but, I don't believe in Zeus. I don't believe in Zarathustra or Ahura Mazda or Buddha or anything like that stuff. So I don't believe in Yahweh. But, if you've got something, I'd love to have a conversation about it. If you want to, if you don't, just let me be. I'm going to continue to pay my taxes and help little old ladies across the street and try to do my best in a world full of obstacles and friends and enemies and however you want to put it. But if you want to stake out a spot, and there are people who want to do it, and in this environment here, we got people calling in to challenge us with some thoughtful ideas to prove the existence of God, and some that are just shooting for the hip for the heck of it. But you don't have to engage in that world. You have a whole life ahead of you. And if you ever do decide that, you know what, Johnny and Jim were right. I don't think I'm a theist anymore. I guess I'm an atheist or whatever the heck I am. That's just the beginning of the journey. The rest is the rest of your life and carving out your space in this world. for yourself and for others is not a dead end. It's just an open field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So call back, please. Call Talk Heathen. I'd love to have an extended conversation with you. This place is more of the Thunderdome in a lot of ways, but Talk Heathen is more of a show where we'll take that time and really explore all the space with you. Or call back here. That's fine as well.
Yeah.